Yo, what's going on YouTube? Nasif here from Click, and today we are on Gran Turismo 7. Spec 3 just dropped today, so we are hopping on Yas Marina circuit in the Ferrari 296 GT3. Now, this video is by no means a tutorial on how to be the absolute fastest around this track. I've never driven this track before. I've only had about, I think in total now, recording this video, about 60 kilometers on the track, so I really don't know the track at all. This is more so just a tutorial for those people who want to get gold and clear it by a good amount and just kind of need some pointers on how to get through it. So I guess I'll give you the voiceover here for the lap itself, and then maybe later in the video I'll give you my impressions of the car. This track in general, a lot of the corners are very deceiving. They go on for longer than you think, especially this last corner here. The first 3 or 4 attempts at this, I was basically turning into the pit lane because it looks like that's where the track goes, so just keep that in mind. Coming into the first corner here, we are going to look for the 150 board and brake slightly after it and just before the 100 board. Carry the speed through in second, ride the curbs as usual, and accelerate on the way out. Taking all the curb on these corners here, using the throttle and a downshift there to just kind of balance the car as we're going through the high-speed corners. And with this car, you want to make sure that your inputs are very smooth, so nothing too janky. You're not jabbing the throttle or the brakes, and also not putting too much steering input in because it'll just understeer or oversteer. Taking that corner, braking in, trail braking as well, trying to carry as much speed as you can through that sort of the sharp corner, and then onto the really long straight. And as you get down to the end of the straight, you're hitting about 275-ish. Braking it around 175 is kind of where I was aiming. It's very easy to overshoot the braking zone, so just be careful of that. As you can see, almost losing the car there because I was going through that there in first. Maybe might be a little bit of a better idea to go through in second, just so you have a little bit more control over the throttle. Accelerating all the way down through the back straight here. Coming into, I'm not sure what the corner name is here, but braking in later than what you would think, and also trying to use, in my opinion, less track. Like I found if you use more track going around that corner, your lap time ended up being a little bit slower. So trying to use the least amount of track. And for this corner here, just kind of lifting off and getting ready to brake for the sharp right-hander. And if you, again, miss that braking zone, this car doesn't react well to late braking, so you can overshoot by a mile. Through this section here, I was just maintaining the throttle through second, not really looking to gain speed in the corner, and making sure that the car was lined up straight before punching the throttle. Try not to catch too much curb on there. If you go up onto the left-hand side of that curb into that sort of second to last corner, you'll definitely end up spinning the car. And there you go. Sort of not a great lap in general. It was a little bit messy in total, but overall I got a 155.4, which, very much cleans the gold time, which puts you in a good position. And yeah, overall, like I said, the car is very twitchy. You got to be very careful with your inputs. And we'll go through now on the different sectors here, and I'll kind of give you a breakdown of the lap, I guess, by sector. The sectors they're not exactly how it would drive on the sort of the one lap attack, because of the starting points in terms of where it starts you and the speeds it's starting you at. It's not always necessarily true to the one lap, so just keep that in mind. But going through here on the first sector, so again, just going to be looking for that sort of between the 200 and 100 board, I should say the 150 and 100 board braking in. You want to take more curb than I did there, but it is what it is, and use as much curb as you can on the way out to get yourself ready for this kind of sweeping fast corners. Again, using a lot of curb here. Same with this side, downshifting to kind of bring the car rotated a little bit, and then back on the throttle as you approach the second set of curbs on the left. And looking for the 100 board there, braking a little bit later or earlier, just depends on how comfortable you are with the car. Turning in a little bit later than where you would think, and then accelerating out smoothly through second and third. And as you can see, they're clearing it pretty easily by about a second, getting a 38.2, a little bit faster than my previous, which was a 38.6. All right, jumping into sector 2 here. So the target time is about 18 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So 18.6, as you can see, we set an 18.2. And this section here is a little shorter, obviously, a lot of speed being carried in. So you're going a little bit faster here than I was going on my one lap attack, but still looking for that same break point. Take a ton of curb there. Try your best not to unsettle the car or hit the pylons there, because I think if you hit those pylons, it'll invalidate the lap. and then staying to the left side of the track as you accelerate out to the exit. As you can see, they're just a little bit slower than the initial record, but enough for a gold. But I decided to go back in and try it again. So I guess we'll get a second chance to look here at what's going on. So breaking it around the 175, and really, again, aiming to throw the car over the apexes here. Obviously, this is not a very clean section by me here, so I don't think this is going to be any faster than the previous run. It might not actually be enough for a gold. So it is a little bit quicker, I think, maybe a tiny bit, but that is what it is. Wasn't able to go faster than the 18.2, but didn't want to waste too much time on that. So now into sector 3. I think the gold time here is 50 seconds flat. As you can see, I got a 49.7. So we are just going to take a look and see how this one is. Now, this last sector here I have way less experience with, and obviously less time going around here. I have no clue sort of where the limits of the car are, where the limits of the track are. So really just trying to drive the car as smoothly as I can, and try to carry as much speed as I can through the corners where applicable. Gonna have a few mistakes come through, as you can see here. Over braking, like I said, on the one lap attack, very easy to over brake, or brake late and miss the braking zone, and then just catching too much curb there with too much throttle and facing the wrong way on the track. So gonna retry that. All right, so we're jumping back into the sector 3, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this one ends in a restart as well, but let's take a look and see. So again, coming into this section here, looking for the 100 board and braking, trying to trail brake in and then use 20% throttle to kind of maintain your speed as you're going through the corners, because the car really likes to oversteer as you're going, or sorry, understeer as you're going through those sections, so it'll push out to the outside. Trying to use as little brake as possible through that very slight right-hander into the sharper right-hander, but again, very easy to carry too much speed. And as you can see here, I made a little bit of a mistake entering the last couple corners, and are trying to overcompensate now with too much power and too much throttle, and it's actually making my laps slower. This section here, you can go way up on the curb, and like I was saying in the video earlier, if you do catch that left-hand side of the curb, you're probably going to get spun out. So I try to avoid going up fully onto that curb and just using the inner portion of it. So again, coming through here, looking for that sort of 100 board, braking in and around that, a little bit of trail braking, and just using the throttle to spin the car around the corner. Again, by no means is this the fastest way to get around this track. This is my first 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers driving, so I don't think I'm a good person to go to find out how to go the fastest way. But if you are looking for a sort of a casual, simple way to get a gold time, this is the place for you. Again, overshooting the braking there a little bit, but not trying to overcompensate now by going super fast through the rest of the sectors. Really just trying to keep my composure. Almost losing the car there on the corner exit, but managed to keep it together. Riding up on that curb, which spat me out a little bit and kind of messed up my braking zone for the last corner. And as you can imagine, unfortunately not setting a very good time at all, actually just barely making a silver. So I think we are going to reset here and just hop back in, and hopefully this is going to be the last attempt. So let's take a look and see what happens here. Alrighty, so passing the line here at 49.890. Not faster than my record time, but fast enough to get a gold, so that's good enough for me. Probably going to spend a little more time on the one lap attack and try and get a faster time, but that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Hope this helped you out. If it did, drop a comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see in the next video. Take it easy. Peace.